Have you ever sat in a cinema, chilled on your couch, wholly immersed in a film, when suddenly you get a sense of déjà vu?
Déjà vu.
Something seems familiar even though you cannot quite place it. Something caught your attention subconsciously. In this video, we'll listen to the most overused sounds in movies that have sneaked their way into our favorite films for decades. But what makes these sounds recognizable and why they have lost their initial impact? As someone who edited sound at the Pinewood Film Studios in London, I've got an insider's perspective on sound design's critical role in shaping our cinematic experiences. So let's dive into the world of clichéd sounds and discover what filmmakers can do to craft new, innovative audio landscapes rather than borrow from others. Now, you don't need to be an audio professional to realize that TV shows and movies have sounded kinda samey lately.
War game. Unknown surface.
I have. Let's go over this again.
But once we pay attention to it, it's everywhere. We can't run away from it. So the question is, why are these filmmakers with huge budgets and years of planning their films reuse such sounds? Is there a conspiracy? A shadowy figure ruling the studios, demanding these sounds to be included? Or is it just laziness? I promise there is no conspiracy. I promise they did not make me say it. Let's start with what sound design is in films and why it is so important. When a movie or TV show, for that matter, is filmed, that could be in a studio lot or on location, you don't capture sounds, just the dialogue. Everything you hear on the screen, from footsteps to guns, is added later. Imagine a person with a microphone running after a car chase or in the middle of a fighting scene. No, thank you, unless they pay overtime. On top of that, the sounds are exaggerated. For example, a real punch doesn't sound like in the movies. Sword fights are not as epic, and even things like movement produce less sound. They're much quieter than in the film. So sound design enhances the story's emotional impact by creating atmosphere, suspense and excitement and bringing the scenes to life. Apart from that, sounds create a sense of time and place. A period film will have a different soundscape than a futuristic story, so a role of a sound designer is also research. And then, of course, the sound design establishes a character's personality, the identity. It could be John Wick with his fast movements and gunfights, or Ultron with a robotic voice and robotic movement.
I give you full marks for that.
There are several categories of sounds in movies or TV shows. Apart from music and dialogue, we have Foley. These are your natural sounds, but recorded in a studio. Footsteps, doors, clothing, water. We can use recorded sounds effects like guns or animals, or synthesized sound effects created entirely on the computer. In reality, it's always a mix of all of these above. Creativity comes from play and experimentation with the tools and sounds we have. Of course, a movie set in medieval Japan has less scope for experimentation than Dune, for example.
A great man doesn't seek to lead. He's called to it.
However, there is still much thinking and creativity behind recreating these sounds. So why are some sounds overused if the job can and often is so creative and fun? Well, a job is a job, project is a project, and it doesn't matter whether it's a film or a house renovation. The same rules and constraints apply, as these are, of course, money, time, managers, trends, and convenience. Sound and surprisingly music is often left at the very end of the production pipeline. So even though the directors and showrunners had months, if not years, to write the scripts and organize the aspects of the production, sound is often an afterthought, with little budget and time. Not always, of course, but often. When you have a small budget and little time, you have to get creative with your tools, which means using existing sound libraries rather than recording new sounds, leading to repetition. Now look through your Netflix or Amazon Prime account or Hulu, and I don't even mention standard cable TV. How much content is there? How many movies, reality shows, TV shows? Very few have budgets like Dune or Game of Thrones. Most are chasing deadlines with money constraints, trying to save every penny. It's convenient, and audiences are familiar with such sounds, so there is not much risk involved. It just works. Then we have producers, aka managers, and the latest trends. Sound follows trends just like everything else. If one product is successful, others will copy it and try to imitate it. Producers will often ask, can you make it sound like this movie or this TV show? And because we're providing a service to a client, you listen to a client. If you are working on an action movie in a James Bond spy action drama style, there's already a soundscape for cars, guns, fights, cities, and the big projects will dictate what is trendy. So often, filmmakers may feel pressured to conform to industry norms rather than take creative risks. Then everyone copies each other until something new shows up on the block. And then we also have the fun aspect, the Wilhelm scream. It is often used as a joke in the industry. Most people don't realize it's there, but the sound peeps know what is up. We are fun at parties. Do we hate overused sounds? Hate is a strong word. Do you hate the same looking bathrooms in each new built house? Do you hate the latest fashion trends and haircut styles? It's the same with sounds in movies. Not every film or TV show will be a groundbreaking, mind-shattering experience. Some are just entertainment. Watch it, forget it. And that's fine, it's part of the job. However, there are times when it could get distracting, repetitive, stale and uninteresting, and filmmakers know that, so they have to balance it with all the constraints we mentioned before. It's okay to find creative ideas to save money and time. This can often bring unexpected results. However, when we start cutting corners, people will notice it, and holding their attention for long is difficult. Nobody likes to waste time watching a bad show unless it's bad on purpose. What are the solutions? Can we ever overcome it? Well, you can always hire pros like me. No, look, we should always leave time for experimentation and creativity. It can be 10%, 15% of overall work time, but coming up with new ideas, most of them will be bad. Sometimes you strike gold.
Our nation's airports.
Check out my other videos on sound and music. See ya.